Hi everybody, welcome to the Spiritual View. I'm Maggie and these are my friends Robert.
Hi.
We have Rosie and we have Tanya.
Hi guys.
And today we're going to talk a little bit about ghosts. Kind of an interesting topic.
Real?
Are they real? Have you had an experience with one? And maybe you're going to hear a little bit about our experiences with ghosts, some from the pros and some from people who are just brand new to all this and a little nervous.
It's all good because you guys have ghosts at your salon, correct?
Yes, we do. We work at a haunted salon. I own a salon called So Pretty Studio, and it is in a little old building. I want to say it was built in about 1905 is my best guess. And it's been a lot of things. It's been a home. It's been apartments. It's been a real estate office, a law office, a doctor's office, and a museum. And now it's a salon. So there's a whole lot of history. And it is haunted as heck. And we have so many different. Oh, Tanya and I could regale you with tales all day long.
What about your experience, Tanya?
Well, I grew up in a haunted house. It was the doctor's office in town, and definitely some interesting things happened as I was growing up. And then my best friend and her family ended up renting that house that my parents owned.
Wow.
And their daughter had the same experiences. So very interesting, but I also work at the salon, and you know, it's hard to come up with certain experiences because it happens every day. It's just, we're just used to it, is all I can say. And
it's like, oh, that's our other coworker.
yeah, we call her Abigail. There's more than one spirit in there, but
it's a collective, we call it Abigail.
But Abigail, you know, I say good morning to her, I say good night to her. I want to stay on her good side. So
But you never had any really bad experience. You don't feel bad, negative energy there.
oh yeah.
You do? Okay.
Yes. So that's where you and I come
Exactly.
in. That's where
Yes,
you and I
this is
come
very
in.
area.
And look forward to another episode. Please look out for our channel on YouTube. We'll put that information when we have it all for you in a better setting.
You're gonna do a cleansing there, right?
And we're gonna do a cleansing. So we're gonna take you in there so you kind of see how we do what we do. You know, I think it's gonna be fascinating for a lot of people. And maybe clear up some information, maybe things that you're seeing or sensing there that you don't know about. Why Abigail is there?
Yes.
Why? Should she move on? Should we move her on? Those are all questions. And so, our topic today is ghosts. So one of the things that I think we need to talk about a little bit is there are different types of energy that can be there could in a location, like residual energy. There can be a haunting, which is a very specific type of energy. It could be a visitation from a soul. That's not really a haunting. Haunting is something that's usually established in a location and doesn't leave. A visitation is something that comes maybe because there could be a guardian angel of somebody that works there, a client that comes in to visit. You'll feel the energy while we're there. Residual energy is just kind of energy that's stuck in a time and place. Of something that happened in that location at one point, and for whatever reason it gets stuck, and we're able to sense what that is. And sometimes it gives us a clue to maybe what happened in that location, why people get negative energy or positive energy there. It doesn't have to be always negative.
Yeah, because I wouldn't say it's always negative.
Yeah. I think people look at hauntings a lot of times as being negative because they're afraid. Because Rosie and I get to see who they are, what they are, interact usually with the spirit, so we can find out what the motivation is for the haunting. Are they just trying to get a message across? Are they thinking that this location was theirs and they're protective of it or somebody that was there, and that's why they're around?
Or sometimes they could be portals. There's
Correct.
portals there. There's the entrance. So that's the entrance of many souls there. And also there's another situation is people bring other ghosts along with them. So let's say one of your workers that work there, one of your stylists, could have actually brought more ghosts into your location.
It's called an attachment.
Or the ghosts that are there now probably don't like certain people that are there.
That they are not hesitant to make their opinion known
You know what I'm trying to
when
say?
they don't like somebody.
And it also has to do, like, if you put up a painting, believe it or not, maybe they don't like that painting, so they might just knock it off of the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Or
That's happened.
Which
or there
is
could have been an
happening.
attachment to the painting that you got at a garage sale or something that brought this energy also into that location.
That's a really good point.
And that is why I always tell people, if you're going to buy any antiques or anything at a tag sale or a garage sale, you remember, everything has energy. This glass has energy as well. Where did you buy this glass? That is why when I bring anything through my home, I always say a little blessing on it. You know what I
That's a
mean?
good idea.
So just it doesn't matter whether it's a new store, an antique store, I always bless whatever I bring into my home.
I love that.
I usually sage it to at least cleanse it.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'll also claim it as mine. And just, if it's a particularly nice piece or something, it's like, I will take care of it. Whatever this is, I'm going to take care of it. It's now mine. I'm the caretaker of it now. Whoever, because
That's
they're
right.
not around to take care of it. They may have loved this object, but now I'm going to take care of it. I promise whoever, whoever belonged to, that it's now mine and I take charge of it.
And not all hauntings are demonic hauntings. You know what I mean? There's all different, like Robert says, there's different energies. It could be someone as just a nun, a plain old nun, could be a ghost on his property, and he really doesn't want that other person to be there because maybe that person is actually watching porn all day. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And then that energy it affects her. Like she's the holy one. Like she's not used to looking at certain things on porn, so she will disturb the area and scare that person away. Like,
Wow.
yeah, they'll do that.
Oh, I've had spirits that got attached to, like, may have, been attached to, like, a man who was living in the house and attacked the female who was their partner because they kind of got attached to that male energy that was in the home. There are so many types of hauntings, and that's why when people call me to do a haunting or call Rosie to cleanse a haunting or when we do it together, we need to know, it's kind of the Nancy Drew in me that I feel like I need to know why they're doing what they're doing, because then it's easier to work with the haunting. And then we both have worked with so many souls.
Yes.
Then we can kind of get them to maybe another soul that we worked with previously to help that individual cross. And sometimes they will cross willingly. Sometimes we have to just remove them and banish them.
Yeah.
So it really depends on the soul. We never know. Usually we know hopefully before we get there, but a lot of times we don't. And a lot of times these spirits will pull their energy back so that we can't sense them, feel them, and try and not deal with them in some way. So we have to be very, I guess, prepared when we go into any haunting, because it can really hurt us. They can really.
Wow.
She's been hurt. I've been hurt.
I mean, I've been thrown downstairs. So yeah, this is no joke. People don't realize that a haunting is no joke. It really
And
is.
some people, I think, might be like, well, I've never seen a ghost. But have you ever walked into a room and gotten chills?
Yes.
And a weird
Or
vibe?
it feels like something's pushing my chest down, like
Yeah.
the barometric pressure
You
changes
might
in
not
my chest.
see
I'm like,
them,
something
but you'll
else
feel
is
them.
in.
Feel
Feel
them.
them.
Yes, I can feel stuff like that when I go to an antique store.
Yes.
I get so physically overwhelmed in there that it feels like my chest is being
Mhm.
squished and I can't draw a full breath, and sometimes I straight up have to leave, and I'm not even like a.
Well, you're an empath, so empaths
Yes.
pick that
Is that
energy.
what that-
Yes.
oh.
So
Wow.
I feel
I get that way in the
in our
salon
salon,
sometimes.
I
Yeah.
can feel the spirits, but I don't see them.
Mhm.
And I've seen things one day. Our dog, our salon dog, he's over here. He goes every day, and he has toys around the salon. He has little baby dolls. And Maggie had decided to do some remodeling, and she had the wallpaper upstairs removed. And that stirred up a lot of problems.
It
What
got-
else were you
it got
doing? The
wild.
wallpaper?
We
was
added
it
a wall.
carpets or something?
Oh.
We covered up the door, I think, right before we did the wallpaper, and then we did wallpaper in the hallway upstairs and in one of the rooms, and then there was another. I've always got some project going, and they or it or
Yes.
whoever is occupying the space with us was not happy at first.
And then there was that at the same time that you were removing the wallpaper, the town did where you could walk through historical buildings because it's a historical building.
We did a historic walking tour, and so hundreds of people came through, And I
Wow.
don't think that the spirit.
Yeah,
that
I think she was very
That's
upset.
called invading their space.
Yes.
It was throwing things.
So,
So
it-
she
falling off
threw
walls.
Bentley's. I come on Monday morning,
wow.
and it was just me in the salon and my client. And if I didn't see it with my own 2 eyes, I wouldn't have believed it. But she picked up his toy and threw it across the room, and it hit the wall. They had little eyeballs. One of the eyeballs popped off. It's still at the salon. You can still see his little
Missing
doll with the
eyeball.
missing eyeball. But there's been things like that. She threw a bottle of wine one time.
She probably doesn't
It
like
was
liquor.
more than one bottle, wasn't it? I wasn't
was 2
there, but
bottles.
It was 2
So
bottles.
That
there's
means,
2 bottles
yeah, she
of
doesn't
wine.
like liquor.
Oh,
That's
see,
what that
that's
means,
interesting.
yeah.
And you know, also one of the things that she does, and now our paranormal team that came to investigate, they experienced the same thing. And we didn't tell them about this, but when we're in the shampoo room, sometimes, especially at night, you'll hear the back kitchen door slam shut, and someone go "hello" as though they just come in, and you'll hear footsteps.
Yeah.
Then you go see who the heck is coming in through my back door.
Because they still claim it's their house.
Yeah.
So when they claim it's their house, that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, so she'll walk in and we'll hear like a woman's voice, "hello," and it happened. They were recording live
Wow.
their investigation, and you could hear the kitchen door slam shut. And I didn't hear the hello, but they were like, "Oh, they thought we came to join in on the investigation." They're like, "Oh, the girls are here," and they went to check. There was no one there, but you hear the door shut. "Hello," like yeah, and that one happened.
So my question to both of you, when Robert and I go tomorrow, of course we do our investigation, and most likely tonight they'll come to us, and they'll give us some information. Now, do you want us to bring them to rest, or do you enjoy them to be there? I mean, you have to let us also know.
I think we would like to figure out how
Why?
they feel about us, why they're
Yeah.
there. Because
Mhm.
if it's important that they stay, I don't want them to feel unwelcome. But if
Okay.
they're there for anything other than happy, fun,
Mhm.
joy,
Yeah.
it feels like maybe they should. Because sometimes they are angry, and sometimes they do angry seeming things
Well,
or
they
things
can
that
also
feel very
affect.
angry.
Well, also remember, spirit. They can cause health problems for some.
Sure.
So you can get headaches,
I feel
nausea,
quite
dizzy,
drained when I'm there,
drains. You know what
to
I'm
be
saying?
honest with
So I've been to your salon many times.
Yeah.
And I know exactly what is there. I saw them. Do they drain me at times? Yes, we spoke about that.
That's true.
So it's something that you really must think about, because once he and I get there, we go to work.
Right.
We are forced,
Yeah.
not to be reckoned with.
And we have to be. I mean, again, I think we've talked before. One of the things that happens is we become very no nonsense, because it's not. We can be hurt. So we take it very seriously what we do, and we need to, because it's not good for the souls. Like I think I have a hard time watching programs where they antagonize the ghost just to try and get
Yeah.
something on camera.
Yeah, that's
What-
not cool.
Because it's like if I walked into a schoolroom of kids and started to antagonize somebody. That's not my purpose, right? My purpose is they're still souls. They still have a personality, and they still have a spiritual journey. My job is not to antagonize them. My job is to hopefully it's a win-win-win where hopefully the soul gets put more at rest.
Mm-hmm.
The people who are in that space, that are working or living in that space now, are find more at peace. And from a karmic value, there's a karmic value that I get from solving a haunting and putting a place peaceful that is unmatched to just about anything else that I do.
Exactly.
And it's not something that we set out to do, but it just happens because we've made, somehow in the world of karma, we've made something right for everybody. And that's a win-win-win for everyone.
And excuse me, I didn't mean to
No,
interrupt
no.
you, but these souls might be asking for help.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
maybe
they're throwing things like-
yeah.
And I think that's what I want to know.
Help
Why are
me.
they stuck
Yeah.
there?
Why are
So-
they stuck there? Because we've tried to figure that out with dowsing rods and not us, the paranormal
Yeah.
team, but we're not running. Well, they let us play with them, but I don't know how well we did. But yeah, we're asking questions, and some of the answers seemed nice and benign, but some of the answers from some of the other ones. Remember when we were like, "Do you want us to close this door?" We were all in the basement.
Yeah.
And it was like, yes, like it wanted us stuck in a room. Like it was like it wanted to keep us in there. So that might have been a different spirit. So we don't know how many are in there, and we've been told before by you and by the team that there were portals.
Oh, there is a
That
portal,
that
and
a
there are
portal.
portals.
We're right by a cemetery, so you got to wonder how much traffic, if that makes sense.
And just know that, every place is different. So it could be transported by the water table that's around. That happens a lot. These spirits travel through water.
Right by the river.
And what was the attraction to the space to begin with? I've had spirits that were attracted to an individual. Maybe the individual committed suicide because they had a miscarriage or something, and now they're greater. They want to be around pregnant women, and so they get gravitated to a particular spot because they like that feeling of being pregnant, and they get that through the person that they're around. Or it can be just about anything. There's nothing that I haven't come across. Like I said, we grow all the time in what we do. It's because every haunting is different, and it's just trying to figure out what it is.
And we pick up the feeling of so many different energies. I mean, we feel them. Like right now in this building that I'm in,
This is a very historical
this
building. we're in.
building is energy. The energy is very strong for me. Which,
Wow.
I mean, I can handle it, but some people can't.
That is something. And you guys have both been to my salon.
Yes.
You've both kind of felt it out, and
Yeah.
you can tell that there is something there.
Oh,
That there's
absolutely.
some-
Before I even walked in, we're sitting in the parking lot, and you could see through the back
You saw
window.
the faces.
Yeah,
On
exactly.
the bottom floor or the
Yeah,
top floor?
bottom.
Oh,
Right
wow.
out to the
Okay.
right-hand
I thought
side.
You know what I was going to say?
Right
That's
hand-
exactly what we were going to
Right hand side. Again,
Yeah,
we went there very, very quickly, but even before we walked in the building, and we do this all the time. I can tell. I mean, it's a building I don't want to go into or something, or I stay at a lot of bed and breakfast. I can't tell you how many of those I've stayed at where
You don't sleep.
you don't sleep because a lot of times I'll run into spirits. And also, by the way, what did we talk about?
They're like,
Yeah. But a lot of times I have to talk that there are animals too. It's not just humans that can be in a space. There are animals. I'll see dogs or cats or something else roaming an area. It doesn't even have to be that the house was even there. It can be Native American energy that's in that space, or it could
I
be.
kind of think
We've
that's
been
what
told
it
Yeah.
is.
that. We've been
Okay.
told that about our basement.
Maybe that's why I'm being
Native
told that
American.
now about Native American energy that's there.
And not only that, people don't understand that even animals are considered little haunters. Did you know that?
Well, Bentley, you want to join us in on this conversation?
He's like, leave me
No,
alone.
he sometimes will act very weird at the salon.
Yeah, he gets
will
weird.
stare at certain spots.
Yeah.
There's a register. He often will stare at that register, and I've seen him walk backwards in one spot upstairs.
See?
We used to have to put a gate up so he didn't go upstairs. There was construction going on. We didn't want him to get hurt, nails and stuff. So we put a baby gate. And one time he went up there with me, and he saw something. I don't know what it was,
Just
but it was a
spooked him?
door. And he backed away,
Oh.
and he went down the stairs, and that was it.
He never
No
went
more
back
baby
up.
gate.
He never
went back up.
Yeah.
It was
That was it.
Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is also that when animals pass away, whether it's any type of fur baby, they still believe that that's their home too. So they will also come as a haunting.
wow.
I think both of us have been to places and with people that when they're putting their animals down want to put them on a good spiritual journey. And so I've been to a lot of unfortunate with people and with animals, just to try and make sure that the situation is right and that the atmosphere is easier for them to cross. It's part of our job.
Yeah, and like Robert said, all hauntings are not bad. They're not evil. Not all of them. They just certain souls need rest. Even like the animals. Let's say you're outside playing with your dog. The poor thing gets killed by a car. The spirit, the soul is right there. He's confused. Thinks at the home. So you also want to put your fur baby to rest.
Yeah.
So we also send them to heaven.
I do have to say, I think of all of the hauntings I've done, and it's been, I can't even tell you how many. I'm Rosie as well. But I would say like the vast majority, maybe 90% are all, it's somebody that's is a visitation, but people not being able to see what it is get afraid, and they always think it's evil or demonic or whatever.
Well,
but there are, believe me, there's demonic and there's evil.
And there is.
But the percentage of the ones that I go to do, it's a much less percentage than it is of something that's benign or a confused spirit. I get spirits who have drowned, to spirits who committed suicide, unfortunately, or were killed in war. Because every time I go to a battlefield, and you get a lot. But all of those things. So again, it's how the exit was. I mean, the one drowning that I worked on, he didn't know he was dead, and it had been gone 10 years. And everybody that went to this house, he would drain the male energy because he could feel he was trying to save himself. All he wanted to do was to right himself. And once I explained to him that he was dead, and that I knew that he had a wife and children, and I told him that his children were already getting married, and that but he couldn't get to them in the state that he was in. And it was the easiest crossing I ever had to do because he just willingly said he understood what was going on. He crossed over. I used my mom, and I asked my mom to please take his hand and move him across. Once that was done, I knew he could go and then check in on his children and his former wife, who had remarried.
It's beautiful.
But it was beautiful because it was just putting all to him. He was rolling around in a wave. All he saw was brown and dark, and heard bubbles and the roar of the ocean. And that's all he was hearing over and over again for 10 years.
For 10 years.
Again, when you're dead, time is not as we perceive time, but it's a long time. And what happens? It can happen is that these spirits can get angry. After a while, they can turn.
Destruction in the
they can become not good entities after a while.
Well, have you ever wanted to say something and you can't think of the word and it's so frustrating and you can't get it out? It must be like that for them. Like, I'm trying to communicate and I can't, and I'm trying to get your attention. I'm knocking bottles of wine off, and I'm doing this.
Can anyone hear me? Screaming.
I'm trying to get your attention.
Help! I've worked with demonic energy in the past, which I don't choose to do anymore. I do call Richard and Karen. They're from Connecticut. They actually do also exorcism. So that's who we would call if there is a demonic, serious energy. Because I've worked with demonic energy, and that is no joke.
When you say demonic, is that when people? When you talk about the difference between like a ghost and a poltergeist?
No.
That's not what
we're talking about an evil spirit. It's
downstairs and they roam, and there's names for them.
There are different dimensions, and there are different aspects of things that we have to work with.
Gotcha.
You have to understand too with mediums, there are different types of mediums. There are people who are good at certain things like doing readings, and maybe that's their forte, and people who do hauntings, and people who do healings, and there are some people who do everything. Rosie's kind of a jack of all trades. I'm kind of a jack of all trades. Exactly. But again, but you do find people who are better at and when it comes to demonic stuff. I too, I had a priest in Florida that I used to use all the time, and it's like, I want to have a mass set at this location. This is what I want done. I will assist them, but somebody else has to take a lead who's been specifically trained in that endeavor, because it is a very specific subset of hauntings. It's not. I don't even call it a haunting. That's a possession.
That's a possession. That's so dangerous.
It's different.
Catholic priests are one of the only people that actually have the training to deal with a possession.
Or there are people that do exorcisms that have the ability that.
Okay, so it's not just limited to.
I've known people who are trained santeros. Even I've known some santeros that could do that and would do that. It's even voodoo high priestess and some Wiccans that I knew.
Certain religions.
Would get involved. But again, even Native American culture can do that. There are people who are trained, and but they've been trained for a long time to do that kind of work.
I just don't choose to do that.
Well, I think we're gonna have to delve into that a little further another time in one of these episodes.
That's right.
But
the different kinds of.
I think before we stop, though, I think one of the things that we do, if you feel that you have a haunting. So let's get to the cure, right? We talked a lot about the problem. Let's talk about the cure. If you feel that you have something in your home, what I would like you to do is make sure you start writing down what's happening and when. Kind of keep a little bit of a log for yourself about what you're experiencing, so that when you're talking to somebody like Rosie or myself, that way we have detail. Because what happens is I'll get a phone call, Robert, I'm scared. What do I do? Like, I don't know. Who are you? And I get that they're excited, but they don't remember all the things that are happened. Right. If I know ahead of time that the cabinet doors were opening or knives were flying across the room, that doesn't happen often. But something that's really, or we in the child's bedroom, on the camera we caught somebody over a child, which has happened, over a child's crib, right? That they caught something over on camera. I need to know that. Not that I won't see it myself, but if it's been caught on camera, if something's happened, that we have a better way to work. Again, like anybody else in any profession, if you call a car mechanic and you say, here's my car, fix it, without saying, I hear a knock in the engine, it gives us kind of an area to go to. You know, we're professionals in what we do.
And
but
so can you go and help people? Can people contact you?
But also, we would also give them advice on what to do.
Okay.
While you're there, claim your space. You know, sage this area. What religion are you? So I can maybe give you something that's more attuned to your religious belief, so that I can kind of focus you on something that makes sense to you. My telling somebody who's an atheist to pray is not the best thing to work.
Yes.
So, but if they have a Catholic background, for everyone, these are the prayers I want you to do. This is how I want you to use some holy water. This is I need to come. But this is what maybe will help you in the interim, right before we get there, to protect your family. That's our biggest concern, is for protection of everybody in the house.
And we also have a list of questions. Do you see flies? Flies is a numero uno that we have a serious problem.
Yeah.
You know, do you smell raunchy smells? That's
Are you
another.
being scratched or touched?
I mean, there's a lot to talk about, guys, but we only have so much time.
That's right. So let's just end it here, but you've got to join us for our next episode, because we are going to go to our salon and you guys are going to see what you find.
Absolutely.
So I'm really excited. We're really excited
what an
about that.
opportunity to see something like that caught on camera.
Yes.
Like to see.
And you never
this
know,
is
you
what
might
the
catch
process-
something.
Yeah,
Yes.
you might literally catch
Because
something
we
on
do
camera.
every
That's-
day.
I'm so excited. So yeah, you're gonna want to tune in for that, because not only are you guys gonna really get an in-depth view into this, but we're gonna learn, and you're gonna watch us learn live about what we've been dealing with for the past 5 years. So that's
A little
gonna be
glimpse
exciting.
of our life.
Yes, welcome.
And also what to do afterwards, like how to keep that space sacred.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
So guys, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And make sure to like our page on Facebook, The Spiritual View. We're going to keep you updated on when videos will be posted, where we're going to be, any live events we're going to do. We'll keep you updated on our social media. So just make sure to like our Spiritual View. You will see our beautiful faces. There's a profile picture.
Handsome!
If our pictures aren't on there, it isn't us. So like our page on Facebook, The Spiritual View, and we will join you guys next time. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks
Bye.
for joining us.
Bye, thank you.
Bye.
Sending you love and blessings.